So I meant to make this video yesterday, and then I got busy with pumpkin show stuff, so we'll do it now. But yesterday was National Pasta Day. It was also Eminem's birthday, so hopefully you got some spaghetti. Anyway, speaking of losing yourself, let's talk about mental health for a second. So solopreneurs, entrepreneurs that don't have a team are, you know, they're wearing lots of different hats all the time. So like CEO might as well just stand for Chief Everything Officer, because everything just ends up falling into your hands. So it gets stressful. One thing I've been doing for my anxiety recently, like when I feel like I'm just being crushed by the weight of everything that I have to do, I make myself pick 3 things, and those things need to be like what's the most impactful or what's weighing on me the most heavily at the moment, and then I won't let myself deal with the rest until I deal with those 3. And dealing with it can mean that I'm doing it myself, or that I'm delegating it, or some combination of the 2, but I'm crossing that off the list. You know, but mentally, even those mundane tasks are still able to weigh on us heavily, right? Especially when you don't deal with them. So if it's something that's been on your list for a while and it's sat there and you haven't been able to deal with it, then it's going to feel heavier over time. You know, a lot of times when we feel like uncontrollably overwhelmed, a part of it is the big things, but another part of it is just the compounding of all the little things that we either haven't had time to deal with, or we haven't made a priority because we have other things that we have to deal with first, right? But we know urgent and important don't necessarily mean the same thing. So this is just an exercise in understanding what's important in the context of how heavily it's weighing on you. Sometimes that's things that we're not even like consciously aware that it's what's stressing us out, right? You know, it could be clutter somewhere, it could be a light bulb that's been out, or like your doorknob's been loose, or maybe it's the smell in your car, right? You know, it might not be the biggest problem you have, but it might be the most impactful problem that you have control over doing something about, right? Because a lot of times these big problems we have are big because we can't do a lot about them, or it's going to take time, or it's a process, right? But sometimes these smaller things, they can make a big impact when we make time to prioritize them. I'm not talking about people that are going through traumatic events, right? I'm talking about people who tend to get like extreme anxiety levels over things that are like mundane tasks, right? You know, realistically, we can only do one thing at a time. I mean, my to-do list is so long. If I really sat down and tried to write out everything that I needed to do, I'd probably start crying before I got to the end. But an empowering realization you can have is that you can't do it all at once anyway, right? You can only do one thing at a time. You can only worry about one thing at a time, right? So pick the 3 that are the most important and do those right away. I picked 3 because to me that's a manageable number, but if you've got like a lot of big projects, or if that still seems overwhelming to you, you can take those bigger tasks and break them down into smaller tasks, right? We don't have to look at the whole of everything all the time, right? Because when I'm trying to look at everything all at the same time, I get just like paralyzed, right? I can't do anything, because I feel like I can't do anything if I can't do everything, and realistically that's just not the way we should look at it. This isn't the only thing I do for anxiety. It's just one thing that I've been doing recently that's helped me just to feel better about my to-do list. But if you struggle with anxiety as well, feel free to drop into the comments and let me know anything you do that helps you, because you know, you never know, it might help somebody else. I hope you have a great Monday and a great week, and I'll see you guys at the pumpkin show.